one-on-one interview with Rob Halford of Judas Priest, and see photos of their 1983 show at the Erie County Fieldhouse, Christine's Chronicles, posted on August 7, 2024 by X-Teen the Writer. My first rock and roll interview ever. By Christine Lorraine Morgan, originally written on January 18th, 1983, presented August 6th, 2024. Now, the images are by Roger Prehoda, and they were also captured on January 18th, 1983 in Erie, Pennsylvania. We are sitting in the office of the Erie County Fieldhouse waiting for somebody representing the band to come in and okay us to conduct an interview and shoot a picture for the paper, Erie Star. Roger, the star photographer, and myself know that such things are very difficult to do when it comes to a band of this caliber, but we're going to try anyway. The opening act, Heaven, is playing and we're bored. The office door opens and somebody hollers in, "Hey, we need a mop. Somebody upchucked out here in front of the stage." An unidentified voice calls back, "Sorry, maintenance is in the girls' room trying to unstuff the 6 rolls of toilet paper somebody crammed down one of the toilets in there." Roger and I look at each other. It was going to be an interesting night. And that's about when Roger took this picture. You can see Mill Creek police officer holding his ear. And there's also another gentleman. And there's a woman there. You'd think she's holding a cell phone or a tablet. Then you remember it's 1983, so I don't know what she's holding. This view is captured in the office where we were waiting for clearance to interview the band Judas Priest at the Erie County Fieldhouse in January 1983. Both the Mill Creek police officer and other gentlemen are trying to plug their ears from the hefty volume, which was an exercise in futility. Believe me, I was there and it was magnificently and inescapably loud. Photo by Roger Prehoda. Doug Neville, K104 jock, enters the office and asks Roger to pull a number out of an envelope that he is holding. Roger pulls out the winning ticket of a $250 Harley-Davidson Judas Priest jacket and doesn't even know it. Finally, as the first band finishes playing, Jim Sylvia, JP road manager, walks in. We explain who we are, and he grants us passes. We are both relieved at having accomplished what we set out to do, and are grateful that Jim Sylvia was such a cool guy. The lights go off. It's dark. Bic lighters and teenage screams fill the place. Smoke bombs explode on stage. More screams. In the darkness, the band sneaks onto the stage and plays an opening note. The audience goes hysterical. Now I'm asking the question, Erie is constantly being criticized as being apathetic toward name acts. People like Eddie Money and others have done poorly here. What sets you apart from them? How do you get to the public like you do? Rob Halford, lead singer, Judas Priest. I was not aware of this. I think that probably because right now we're riding the crest of the wave for the first time in our existence. Last year, when we were on tour, we spent like 5 or 6 days rehearsing here in the Fieldhouse. Maybe what they really like in Erie is the hard rock stuff. We are very, very flattered and very, very pleased. The band appears through a colored, smoky haze. Lots of leather studs and chains. Rob Halford of Judas Priest strikes a pose that feeds the audience's frenzy at the Erie County Fieldhouse in January 1983. Photo by Roger Prehoda. The second song begins. Intense. How can they play their guitars from the top of the scaffolds like that? The singer paces across the front of the stage. And I ask, "What's the most fun you've had performing?" Rob Halford. We've always said that no one place is any better or special than another. Each is unique in its own way. Whether it's 5,000 or 20,000 people, whether we're in Erie or Miami or California, it would be unwise of us to say that one was better than the other. We look at the reaction of the audience. The crowd is still screaming, "Hey, Mr. Lead Singer, where'd you get your boots and handcuffs?" A middle-aged woman in front of me is worried about her kids who are watching the performance from the rafters behind where I'm sitting. She makes a feeble attempt to shut out the music by pressing the collar of her jacket against her ears. Forget it, Mom. It pounds straight through to the guts. She keeps turning around nervously to see if her kids have fallen yet. This is not a good place for moms. The tons of people crammed front and center all have their arms in the air, pounding to the beat. I see Roger way down front on the shoulders of some kind stranger who is holding him up so he can get a good picture. The audience is catching whatever is going on up there on stage and feeling pretty good about it. Don't their arms and throats get tired? I ask. What's it feel like to be in such total command of so many people? Rob Halford. It's something you have to be very careful of. The last thing you want to do is to take it to the level where it becomes far too aggressive. When our audience comes with us, as this one did, it's a complete 1-to-1 basis. We never want to be in a situation where we do it just for the power of it. Now, as a side note, when he answered that question with that reply, I was really shocked and I was surprised at the depth of his thought process, and I was filled with admiration. I thought that was a great answer. Mom's youngest is alongside her now, dancing in his seat. How old is he? 7, 8 maybe? More fire and smoke on stage. It's only 9:30 and the mob is already pounding on the walls and floors in between songs. Here's an action shot of Judas Priest performing at the Erie County Fieldhouse in January 1983. Photo again by Roger Prehoda. And that is a great shot. Good job, Roger. Speaking to the Erie Star, what would you like to say to this town? Rob Halford. We will always return with our show whenever possible, though it would be nice if there was a more suitable facility for the show. We couldn't do some of the things we normally like to do because the ceilings are low. But regardless of that, we're glad that everyone received us so well. My thighs are rattling from the bass drum. Mom and kids are leaving. Bye. What a show. Boy, can that singer scream. I love a good scream. Nice red sneakers on the guitarist. Why am I finding all of this exciting? It's too loud for me, and I really didn't want to come. Because I know a good show when I see one. I ask, how was the Judas Priest video chosen as one of the top 10 for 1982 on MTV? Rob Halford. By mail-in votes, a combination of the votes and the amount of airplay you receive on the radio stations. Our new album is on the verge of going platinum. In February, part of the new Judas Priest movie that was made in Memphis will be shown on MTV. So on January 18th, 1983, Judas Priest stormed Erie with Rob Halford as the lead vocalist, K.K. Downing and Glenn Tipton on guitars, Ian Hill playing bass, and Dave Holland pounding drums. This group turned Erie on to the kind of performance that doesn't pass this way very often. When this year's world tour is over for them and they return to their homes in Birmingham, England to rest before beginning their next trip across the globe, let's hope Judas Priest remembers Erie. Don't worry though, I do have a feeling that they won't forget to come back. Folks, that was 1983. And thank you for listening, tuning in. And this has been Christine Lorraine Morgan signing off for xteenthewriter.com. Y'all take care now.
Take a look around you. Can you see the world is failing? Now is the time to take a stand while we can. Everywhere you look you see violence and bitter hatred. It's up to us now to take a stand while we can. Take a stand, modern man. Strive for a world with no hate. Teach your
When this year's world tour is over, when this year's world tour when this year's world tour is over for them and they return to their homes in Birmingham, when this year's world tour is over for them and they return to their homes in Birmingham,